so much for being here. You know, President Biden is hitting the road. He is touting Bidenomics. He is touting the spending, saying that he wants to spend more. And a lot of that is on this green agenda that he has been pushing since day one. But many have criticized him because it's been destructive. He said it's going to add jobs that we haven't seen come to fruition just yet. Your thoughts on where we stand now, about 2.5 years into this green energy push?
Well, any industry that is required to be subsidized by the American taxpayers in perpetuity is not sustainable. So it really flies in the face of what they call sustainability as they push for this Green New Deal agenda across the country. And as we've seen, Biden economics, it's all about paycheck to paycheck or paycheck to Wednesday and then borrowing the rest. That's what it leaves all of us in. This whole Green New Deal push, it's all about dependency and control, not about sound economic policy or promoting the environment. We know that from the cars that are on the road now, these electric vehicles, we need 300 new mines to get the critical minerals necessary to produce these batteries. And we've already seen across the country where these subsidized investments have gone belly up because they are not sustainable. Never mind the fact that these cars are very expensive, and at a time when people are hurting, they can't afford them. So we just, as Americans, can no longer subsidize an industry that isn't economically viable. That's why the government needs to step back, let the private sector do its thing. That's when we're going to see true innovation and development. That's truly invest in America.
And critics of the president have argued that you can certainly set green goals for the future, that we can work on that as a country. We are some of the world's best innovators. They are right here in the United States. But having said that, you can't just flip a switch and go green. Many would argue, to some of the points that you made, that the president is actually playing right into the hands of China right now at a time where foreign policy is weak. China is really gaining a foothold on the global stage, that this is actually very dangerous.
Absolutely. What we've seen out of the Biden administration is a push that consequences be damned when it comes to the economy. They're going to move forward with these climate initiatives. Meanwhile, we all, those of us with common sense, know that that does not make sense for the environment, because we're driving so much of this manufacturing overseas to countries that have no regard for emissions, for the environment. China, Venezuela, Iran, Russia, for example. These countries have not even a clue when it comes to sound environmental policy. So you have these subsidized industries that are going belly up. We gave $9.2 billion to Ford. They're now laying off 1,000 jobs. We have given countless subsidies to solar. Solar was a great example of a failed attempt at government intervention and investment. That's why I continue to say, if we get government out of the way of business, the innovators will do what they do best. They will create jobs. They will grow an entire new industry in this space, but they can't do it with regulators breathing down their neck and with government continually subsidizing their competitors and pushing manufacturing offshore.
You bring up a very important point, which is job creation within that sector. In the green sector, he promised that he would create green jobs to replace the jobs that were being lost. But we haven't seen that replacement happen, even though he loves to run around and tout the fact that he created 12 million jobs. The bulk of those, of course, were just jobs that came back post-pandemic. Meanwhile, while I have you, FBI Director Christopher Wray is set to testify in front of the House Judiciary Committee next Wednesday over political bias while investigating and prosecuting Republicans. Some GOP lawmakers even calling for the director's resignation. Now, this is coming as House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is threatening to open an impeachment inquiry into Attorney General Merrick Garland and the Justice Department's handling of Hunter Biden. Do you agree with McCarthy's threat? And what do you want to hear from Christopher Wray on Wednesday?
I agree wholeheartedly with Speaker McCarthy. We have seen a weaponized DOJ and FBI like never before. When we have whistleblowers coming before our weaponization committee and they tell us that they will destroy your life if you speak out, if you disagree with the political agenda of the Biden administration, they will come after you and your family. We've seen it play out. They have targeted parents by taking down their license plate numbers in parking lots. placing informants in Catholic churches. We have seen the coordination of these social media companies and the administration to suppress our First Amendment rights. The weaponization of government today, it's very real. And so what I expect is Christopher Wray to deflect and dodge real questions. Now, I have long said that the angertainment era that we are living in today when it comes to political theater, it's actually more harmful than good. But what we need to be getting to the bottom of is why we are seeing this weaponized FBI, why the political agenda has superseded truth, why they continue to perpetuate this two-tiered justice system. Why will they not go after the true criminals, but instead target American citizens? I think in the end, the American people will see how this weaponization is impacting them every single day, and they will get behind Republicans and our calls for Christopher Wray to step down.
These are all great questions that the American people want answers to as well. Congresswoman, great to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.